you end up when you go to trial, they'll double the time they offer you. You have to take a deal, and you kind of have to cooperate to have any kind of life coming out of that. And also, there's a risk that your co-defendants might flip on you first. This is interesting. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, guys, okay? KT Inc. Music Group presents BD Miguel featuring Rob Rowley. The new video, Eat. They're out of Seattle, Washington. BD Miguel's album, Flight, on all streaming platforms now. Okay, so we got some police officer talking about everything that could happen here. And this is a guy who used to bust people, used to follow people's Instagrams and everything. And what's funny is most people indict themselves on Instagram now with all the information they put out there. Well, anyways, this guy made a good point. Tekashi, he said, I've seen the kingpins of an operation take cop out. They're the ones that cooperate first. It's whoever cooperates first gets the less time. And you saw the head of an operation cooperate, and then the other person, the woman that used to do all the work for this guy, she wouldn't take a deal, and then we had to inform her later that the guy she worked for took a deal. She ended up doing 4 years when she could have done 10 months, and the other guy did less time than her because he cooperated first. Crazy. And that's what Tekashi's facing here, that his co-defendants, Shadi, Mel Matrix, all that. You never know how someone's built until they get into trouble, okay? I don't even think they know how they're built until they get into trouble. And you're facing 25, 30 years. That's most of your life, man. That's a lot of good years. Look at Shadi, Mel Matrix, and them. They're in their late 30s, right? So by the time they would get out after 30 years, they would be in their late 50s, 60s, those are the golden years already. You're entering golden years, Tekashi, 22, right? 21, 22 years old, facing 30 years. He would be like 50 when he got out, 40, 50 when he got out, And this guy also said this is a lot worse than the Bobby Shmurda case because there's RICO Act is involved, and there's like too much evidence. And he's also said this is already being tried in the public, so people are already forming their opinions. This person's guilty, this person's that. Tekashi probably has to cooperate. Now, Blue Da Vinci broke it down where he had to cooperate, not meaning snitch. He didn't snitch, but he had to admit to a few things, so he did 5 years instead of 15. He said that there's points in the Fed system. I'll break that down in a later video, but he said he had to tell them that they were right. Yes, you did. That is my weapon. That is my thing. All he did was own his charges, so it didn't go to trial, because when you blow trial, then they give you football numbers, So he was able to get out with like 5 to 10 years, and he wasn't they weren't doing that for the head of the BMF. They weren't doing that for Big Meech and that, because they were the head guys, So even if Big Meech he probably did own some. I don't know if he went to trial or not. I forget. I think he just owned the things that they said, so he wasn't in jail for his whole life, He didn't get life in prison. He just got a lot of years. Tekashi, in this situation, these guys don't mess with him. So him being loyal to, I'm not encouraging him to snitch. I'm just encouraging him to I hope he does take a deal of some sort and does 5 years instead of doing 20 years, and just own the things he was a part of. Because fighting this in trial, he's going to lose, man. The guy even said that where unfortunately he's in the Manhattan district and not the Brooklyn district. So the Manhattan district has a conviction rate of like 90-something%, like 97%. So it's like you got to work out a deal of some sort where you're owning part of the charges and you take a few years. Not necessarily, you don't snitch, you just own your wrongdoings, or the things you were involved with. That's irrefutable, because that's the only way he's going to come home and still have a life, This is scary, man. because first of all, Tekashi was a victim in this situation in a sense. Like, these guys involved him in something he wasn't involved in. You know, it's unfortunate, and he involved himself. He's guilty as well. He's just younger. They knew better. He didn't know, so you know you're easily influenced when you're 22. It's Jordan Tower with JT News. Tell me what you guys think about this. Hit that thumbs up button. I'll check you guys later. KT Inc. Music Group presents BD Miguel featuring Rob Rowley. The new video, Eat. They're out of Seattle, Washington. BD Miguel's album, Flight, on all streaming platforms now.